In this exercise, we're going to do a 3-view drawing again so you guys can practice that. And we're also going to deal with some other features that we have to draw, such as ellipses and some things that happen when you're working in industry with drawings that you have to deal with. And one of those can be scaling. So what we're going to do, we've got our template open. We've got all of our layers set up here. So if I click on that, that's our layers. They're all set up and ready to go. And we're going to come over here out into model space. We're going to go down into our grid setting and display the grid beyond limits. So, and then we're going to draw a line. So I'm just going to specify the first point of this line, and I'm going to make it 100 long. So I'm going to go at 100, angle 0. Then I'm going to go up here to View and hit Extents. And now if you notice, my title block got pretty small down there in the corner. So this one I can go ahead and delete. Now if you guys go and look at your handout, we're going to start drawing our part here. So it's a block with a diagonal hole through it. And I'm going to start with drawing the front view, and I'm going to do visible lines. So I'm going to come down here in this corner, and notice your title block's pretty small, but that's okay. And I'm just going to click anywhere. And then I'm going to draw a line at 33, angle 90. So there's our first line. The next one, in order to get up to this corner, we're going to go at 20, comma 17. Then going across the top, we're going to go at 20, angle 0. Now, listen to me very carefully when we do this section here. The next one we're going to do, if you notice on our drawing, we've got 124 degrees there. So that's 56 degrees below horizontal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go at 70, angle minus 56. And that puts that in. Now notice I went pretty far. That's okay. We want it to do that. I'm going to select the line command again, then I'm going to come over here and draw a horizontal line across the bottom. And then the way this part's dimensioned, you don't know how long it is, but you do know how high the one edge on it is. So the back shelf that you can see that'll be a hidden line back here, that's up 20. So I'm going to use the offset command, enter 20, click on this line and go up. So now I've got my location for my vertical edge here. And the reason we did it this way is because of the way the part's dimensioned. So now we got some trimming to do. So select trim, hit enter, trim off these parts, or these edges, this one, and then you got 2 to delete here, or erase, whichever you want to do. This line here, we still need, but it's the wrong layer at the moment. So I'm going to click on that line, and there's right in this tab, there's layers, and I'm going to switch that one over to hidden. Okay, don't worry about your LT scale right now. This is, I know we have a different line type for this, and right now it looks like a continuous line, but we'll get into that in a little bit. It'll be okay, trust me. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, this might seem a little odd, but I'm going to flip over and I want you to show you rotating the UCS. So this thing down in the corner here is our icons that give us our coordinate dimensions. And right now we have X going this way, Y going this way, and Z is coming out at us. So if we go up here and click View, and then click rotate about Z, and I'm going to enter in an angle of 34 degrees. And what that does is that lines my axes up so they're perpendicular to this face. If you notice, my grid also changed to go along with that. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to draw all the cross or the hidden lines and the slot that runs inside this face. So the next thing I'm going to do, since I've got my axes changed, I'm going to switch back over to home, select the line command, and I'm going to come in here, and now my line tool snaps to horizontal, but horizontal has kind of changed, hasn't it? So I'm going to add this line in here. Now if we look at our print, we're going to go up 20 to give us a center line for the hole, but we also have the slot is also up 20. So I'm going to select offset. Already got my 20 distance in. That's been a popular one. And I'm going to put that in. That doesn't look right, so let me just double check that. Delete. I can arrow back up to offset. Aha, and then I click something. So that wasn't set to 20. So now I'm going to do that again. And now I've got that line. And then if I offset 10 to either side of this, that'll give me the hidden lines for my hole. So I'm going to go up here and select hidden, then offset again, and I'm going to enter 10. And I'm going to go to either side of this. Now if you noticed, I went up and selected hidden, however, I'm offsetting off the line, so what happens is AutoCAD takes the properties of that line when it does the offset. If I arrow up, down here again, I should be able to get to, oh sorry, hit escape. Now I'm going to enter 5, that's the width of the little slot, and I'm going to do that one as well. And I accidentally entered 0.5. There we go. So my lines are finally taken care of. 2 of these I need to select, and I'm going to change their layer to hidden. So now they show up blue. The next thing I have to do, or the last thing that I have to do in this view, is to trim. So I'm going to select trim, hit enter, and take out my lines that are passing past the edge of the part. One final thing to do, I'm going to go back to view, go to rotate about Z, and go minus 34 degrees, and that brings me back and my grid back and everything to horizontal. The next command we're going to use is the X-line command. It's shown up here. It's right there. You can select construction line, and then come over here and select the construction type. And down here at the bottom it says horizontal, vertical, angle. We're going to do vertical first, so just hit V, enter. And then everything that's an intersection or feature here, we can just watch how fast we can drop those construction lines in. So there we go. We actually have a couple more to worry about. We got this one down here, so I need to add that one too. And just to delete that, that's an extra line we don't need. Okay, so now I have most of my lines that I think I have them all for my upper view. So if I look at my upper view, I'm going to go and draw my visible stuff first. So I'm going to select the visible layer. come up here, select the line command, and then I'm going to draw across from here to there. This is one of those deals where you can go past and trim. It may be better for you to do that. So I've got that one set up, or you can turn on ortho. I've got that one set up. Now I'm going to go and I'll use my offset command. And now my offset distance is going to be 50. I'm going to click on the part and go this way, and now I've got that upper line up there. Use offset again. This time I'm offsetting 10, and I'll bring that edge down 10. So now I have that little flat surface there in the back. Now if you look at the part, my next offset is going to be 20 to get me to the center of the hole. So that represents the center of the hole that I'm looking at. I'm going to offset again 10 to either side of that. And then the last one I have to do, I need to offset 5, or actually, I'm sorry, 3, up from the bottom. And that will make this edge down here for me. So I've got almost all of that stuff. The last thing I need to do is close this back off because, whoops. Put that line in and put this line in. Okay, so of these lines, we've got a couple different things to take care of. First off, let's start and just work up from this direction. This notch on this view is open right there, and that's it. So I'm going to come up here, select the line command, look where I'm going, and put in a line there, and a line there, and just box that off. Okay. Now, I need to trim off this portion of the edge from here. So go up and do some trimming. So I'll go up and do some trimming and enter. Drag this up. Get rid of those. And then the rest of that should be okay. This line here, we need to change. It needs to change to a hidden line. This line here, that's also changing to hidden. This one is changing to center. And this one is changing to hidden. Okay, so now the next two features that I have, in this face, remember in this face here, we've got a circle. So I'm going to come up here. Up here it's actually going to be an ellipse. So there's my center mark, there's my bottom edge, and there's my top edge of that circle. If I go up and trim it out, there's no hidden lines that would extend past there, so I need to get rid of these guys. Then I'm going to switch layers. I'm going to go over to my hidden layer. And actually I forgot some X lines here, so I'm going to get construction. And I need a center position for the ellipse up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down below and bring this line down. and this line across, and I'm going to put another X line in back here. That's going to be a vertical one. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extend to that line these two hidden lines. You'll see why in a second. All right, now I'm going to select my hidden layer, get an ellipse, and that ellipse is going to start out of the back of the part, and it's going to go to the line that lines up down here with this hidden line. So now I have my ellipse up there. The last two edges that I have to put up top are two visible edges that I left out when I started this, and that's this one. So that goes from there to there. And this one here goes from there to there. Okay. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to turn my construction layer off. And the main reason to do that is to make sure that no lines are hidden or covered up or invisible, because we have construction lines on top of them. Then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do some final trimming. And my top view is complete. Okay, so now I'm going to go and I'm going to create the construction lines for the right-hand view. So to do that, I'm going to go and hit an X line, and for this we can enter an angle too, so I'll hit A and then 45. And I have my layer turned off, so it would be good to turn that back on, then I can see what I'm doing. So now I'm going to come down here, and right where it makes sense, when I look at it where it's going to project, I'm going to place the 45-degree line for creating my right side view. And then I'm going to select X line again. This one's going to be horizontal X lines coming off all the features on the top. Now everything up here that'll project I want to get. So the top edge, that edge, zoom in a little bit, the top edge of my ellipse, this edge, that edge, and the bottom edge. I think I got them all. Next thing, I can up arrow to open up the X line command again, hit enter, and then enter V for vertical, and then place the vertical X lines that I need coming down from my 45. I think I got them all. I'm going to go back and do a horizontal X line now. And I'm going to get everything that comes across. So I need this one. It's easiest if you start at the view and click on every line you think you're going to need. Okay, now it's kind of annoying because I can't see my front or top views very well. So I'm going to drag a box around them, and I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click this bring to front icon, and that'll make sure they're displayed, so I shouldn't forget anything just because it's hidden or covered up by another line. Then I'm going to go up here and we'll draw our visible features over on the side. So our block goes from here to here on the bottom. Then we come up and we have this indent on the side, come up to there, come across the top. We go down, and I'm going to go the whole way down, but I know you you guys should be able to tell me what I forgot, and that's this corner, or this slot here. So where the slot goes in, we have this one, this edge, and this edge. And then there's also a hidden portion to the slot because there's this square back here. So I'm going to switch over to my hidden line type and put in those lines for the slot as well. And then the last one will go up to here, because that basically represents this whole opening, or this whole face on this drawing here. Now the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to do another ellipse. I'm going to go and get a visible corner or line for the ellipse. Select ellipse, and then from my center point I'll come over here, so that's the center of my circle. That's my side, that's my top. So in this projection, it's kind of canted back from you a little bit, so it's narrower top to bottom. Switch to the hidden layer, and let's get the other lines that we need in there. So we're going, that's our one hidden line. Here's our other hidden line representing our hole. And then we do have a center line in there too. So get that selected. So we go from there down. Okay. So now we've got that set up. The last thing for us to do is the ellipse on the bottoms. If you notice where this drilling would break out through the back surface, the center is here, the sides here, and then the upper edge is there. The last hidden line to put in is this one right here. So we'll go up and select line command, go from here over to there, and then put our line in. And that's that back edge. And we've got one more visible line that we forgot. So we'll grab him, bring him across from here. Okay, so let's go turn our construction layer off. And that'll facilitate us trimming. So we're going to select trim, hit enter, get rid of that stuff. We're going to zoom in. There's two little internal lines here that need to go away. That line and this line. And basically that's the drawing. Now you may be wondering about the next part. How do we get this whole thing set up correctly? Because there's our printable paper. Well, if you recall, these dimensions that are like 30, 40, 50-ish, what they are is millimeters. So sometimes you'll have a metric drawing that you need to scale and put on a piece of paper, and this is one way to do it. There's other ways to do it using layout space, but this is one way should it actually really supposed to be small enough to fit in the title block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and I'm going to click scale. And I'm going to select all of my objects that I want to scale. Hit enter. I'm going to specify a base point in this lower corner. And then my scale factor is going to be the conversion from millimeters to inches. So that's 0.03936996. So I just scaled my drawing down to fit. So the last thing I'm going to do is select move, select the objects I want to move, specify a base point, or hit enter, specify a base point, and then I'm going to drag that over and place it in my title block. So now when you place dimensions on this part, if I go up here and select a linear dimension, I have the corrected English dimensions for the features. So course, select your layers then, but go and redimension this part in English and see if you can find the setting where you would do a dual dimension for that. That's it.